Glorious hump day to you, my friends. Glorious hump day to you. Guys, I truly want to thank you for being a part of the distinctly extraordinary society. Guys, it's Coach B coming at you with another daily mindset tip. And we're going to be quoting Winston Churchill this evening. And Winston Churchill says, "You make a living with what you get." You make a living with what you get. But you make a life with what you give. You make a living with what you get, but you make a life with what you give. Friends, I want you to take a minute and think for a second. Has there ever been a time in your life that you just came through for somebody? When somebody was in a clutch and you came through. When somebody was stuck between the rock and the hard spot. Have you ever came through when somebody was backed against the wall? Guys, if you are on the show this evening live, #live, if you're watching this bad boy on replay, do one and the same #replay. Guys, we started today off with a quote from Winston Churchill about making a life is what you get. Making a living is what you get. But I would dare to ask, I would dare to question, are we on this planet to make a living? Or are we on this planet to live a life? You know, and if we're going to leverage this quote from Winston Churchill, to live a life, it's going to be measured by what we give. And I can think on numerous occasions when my back was against the wall, I was stuck between a rock and a hard spot, and someone else's action made such an impact in my life. It not only changed my life, it changed my situation. But it is something that I will never, ever forget. Drop this in the chat. Give. Sometimes, friends, it will cost us more to not give. And what I mean by that is there has been times in my life where I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together my own self. But I've seen someone who had a financial need that far exceeded my own. And that little still voice that lived on the inside of me told me to give, to sow into this individual's life. And the joy that I felt by giving into someone else's life, when I really could have used that money at that very moment in time, it blessed that person meeting a financial need that they had. But it blessed me in an emotional way that I would dare to say could not have been filled by any amount of money that I may have received myself. I was in a position to significantly impact someone else's life, even if the monetary amount that I gave was insignificant to a large number of people. The situation was presented to me at that moment in time. Could it have been possibly maybe a test from the universe? One could argue. Could it may have been someone who was just looking for a handout? One could argue. But I didn't just show up. I sure didn't give enough money to show out. I just simply gave at a moment of need, not expecting anything in return, not knowing if I would ever see this individual again. I had no ulterior motive. This certain someone was not expecting a return, but I believed in my heart at that very moment it was the right thing to do, and I showed genuine care for this individual. Now, could I have personally used that money? Well, absolutely. Like I said, I didn't have two nickels to rub together at the moment. However, I didn't necessarily know about this quote from Winston Churchill at this time, but I knew in my heart it was the right thing to do because there was this really small, still voice that spoke to me on the inside that said, give what you got. In this particular case, I actually didn't have any money to give, and they were asking for money. Their little sign said, our family needs money, specifically gas money. Well, my wife and family and I, we were on a road trip of our own, trying to go see a family member who was in desperate need of some help. Their health was in like a really bad place. Not that I'm a doctor or anything that we could do to help, but it could have possibly been the last time that we could have seen them. So we decided that it was probably in our best interest to go visit them. If this was their last moments on earth, we needed to be a part of that. Along our journey, is kind of when we were stopping at a gas station, and it was like the car wasn't acting right, and the brakes were acting up, and my wife's like, is this Satan? Yeah, maybe, possibly. But the more that we kind of thought about it, we was like, this is not some kind of like universe crashing against us. This was a divine appointment. The car started acting weird, and we pulled over at the right place, right time, wrong place, wrong time. How many other people have driven past this couple and either gave money to them or didn't give money to them? Maybe they were in desperate need. We weren't in a position to give them any money because we didn't have any money on us. We made this trip on a credit card. It was spur of the moment. We didn't plan for it. We didn't prepare for it. Prior to this trip, a numerous couple things that had happened in the business, but we knew we needed to make this trip. What we did have was some spare food. Not like leftovers or weird stuff like that. We had packed some snacks because the kids were a little bit younger at the time. And we decided that what we did have to give was not necessarily what they were asking for, but we listened to that small, still voice and we gave the snacks that we had. I want you to think back to a day or a time that you've done the same thing. Either one, you was the giver, or one, you were the receiver. Because I can think at two specific different places in my life where we were the giver and we were the receiver. Did the gift that we give or gave to that family change their life? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. We didn't have much to give. What we did give is not what they were asking for. But when we were in a desperate time of need, we was poured into in a manner of not what we'd asked for. Honestly, we were too prideful to ask for anything. We didn't want people to know that we were struggling at all. But someone generously poured into our lives more so than we could have ever poured in to that couple's lives, that we just happened to stop at a random gas station and meet this family who was in desperate need. What I have started to realize and learn over time is it's interesting how giving can become contagious. When's the last time that you've purposely went out of your way to give something to someone else? And I'm not meaning monetarily. When's the last time that you've went out of your way to hold a door open for someone? Giving can also be a kind gesture, a kind word. Giving could be doing the right thing when no one's watching. I know that I have made more mistakes than I can ever remember that I could verbally speak to. I know I have said things in haste, said things in anger, said things when I too was heartbroken, said things in a jokeful manner that I have forever changed someone's life. I have forever changed a relationship that I may never, ever be able to entertain again. And the only thing I can do at this point is ask for forgiveness. And some of these people I know I've hurt, and I don't even remember what I said or how I hurt them, but it had gotten back to them that I had said something or I had done something or I had inadvertently didn't do something that I said I would do. The only thing that I can do at this point is graciously, humbly, publicly ask for forgiveness. But we're speaking about making a living with what we get, but making a life with what we give. And sometimes, friends, it pays more to give. Generosity is contagious. And it's got to start with us. Over the last 9 years of me working with the public in my gym, I've probably hurt more people than I've helped. Not in like a physical fitness way, in an emotional way. Maybe even in a spiritual way. Not because I'm some terrible person. Some might argue that I am. I'm human. And I've made mistakes that I've cried and cried and cried myself to sleep about. Things that no matter what I say will ever change. I couldn't give the world away to fix them. But what I've got to do now is let my actions speak louder than my words. Let my generosity speak louder than the mistakes that I've made. Let the person I'm striving to become a better version of me every single day. I would hope that you would be doing the same. If we can all get to this place in life where we understand that we are all a work in progress, we are all going to miss the mark. We have all said things and done things, and we were going to continue to say and do things that will fall short because we are a broken society in desperate need of saving grace and mercy. But it's got to start with us. Someone has to be the bigger person to go first. I believe I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to undo the damage that I have done. But I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to make a lifestyle out of giving. I want to be the first to give grace, to give mercy, to give a crap and say, will you forgive me? To go out of my way to give my time to help someone else in need. To give the only thing I had to give to this couple at the gas station because I had nothing else to give. I mean, I guess I could have tried to figure out somehow a way to do like an ATM withdrawal against my credit card and give them money, and that may or may not have worked. But that was a super busy gas station, and I believe that someone seen us giving our time and giving what we did have to that family and that couple. And I cannot believe for 1 second that no one else decided to help them as well. I know that when I was in my desperate time of need, multiple people reached out to help us. I've been in financial needs. I've been in emotional needs. I've been in spiritual needs. I'm in all three right now. Some know it, some don't know it. Going into business is hard. Stepping out into the unknown is terrifying. But sometimes, my friends, that's exactly the change that needs to happen in our lives. Someone has got to be willing to go first. Someone has got to be willing to lead the pack, to take the path that's unknown. You know, the Grand Canyon wasn't just miraculous. It took billions of years of water just carving through and just going against the grain for that beautiful sight to be seen. We didn't get to where we are today just overnight, just like the Grand Canyon. I want people to see complete transparency that I do not have an ulterior motive when I keep giving away information with the Distinctly Extraordinary coaching channel. when I'm giving away free fitness and free nutrition and free mindset coaching, there's no ulterior motive here. I'm not trying to make up for lost time. I'm not trying to somehow make up for wrongdoings, but I am trying to be the first to create something that's not been done before and give away the very thing that I sell to make a living for my family. I want people to see that generosity is contagious. And when people see that I truly care for them, that no one can say I'm money hungry or I'm this greedy business owner, and people can say whatever they want about me. I love people. And yes, I have made some terrible business mistakes. I've made terrible relationship mistakes. I've made epic fail after epic fail with emotional connections with people because I didn't understand how to read people. I didn't understand how to look at people through different lenses, how to be able to see and clearly communicate with people from different perspectives. I am a work in progress, just like all of us are. But I want to be a solution to the change that needs to take place in this world. I want people to see me for who I really am. And that's someone who genuinely cares for the health and well-being of humanity. Yes, I too, just like you, have got to make a living. And what I have to sell is health and wellness. Hormone correction, metabolism correction, nutrition coaching, fitness coaching, mindset coaching, corporate wellness programs, remote coaching. Those are the things that I do, and I do very, very well. Those are the things that I have to sell. But those are also the same things that I give away day in and day out. Because I believe if people can see my generosity, if people can see my heart and my desire, my passion to make a difference, and they see the value in the free program, they're going to see immense value in the paid program. They're going to see what I can do for their companies, for their corporations, for their own physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, physical health. And when I do say this is what it costs to be able to work with me, for us to be able to fix A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, people aren't going to question the price because I poured immense value into them for free. I want to be the example, my friends. I want to set a better standard. I want to hold myself to a higher standard, and I am hoping and I am praying that everyone who comes behind me, everyone who comes with me, will follow in suit. We can be world changers. We can make a drastic difference in this world. But it starts with us. And I can tell you guys, what I felt that day when I did not have a single penny to give, when that is the only thing this family that was broke down, I'm going to assume broke down at this gas station. That's all they asked for. It broke my heart because I was not prepared to give what that family was desperately asking for in that moment of need. But I gave all I had. And I can tell you on the flip side, it was poured back into me and my family 100 times over, with the numerous times that I personally, my wife needed help, my kids needed help, my community poured into me. There's been numerous people that went out of their way to help me and to help my family. And the only thing I can do now is tell the world, if I have personally failed you, will you forgive me? If I have wronged you, whether it was intentional, unintentional, will you forgive me? If we have somehow crossed paths and somehow there was this abrasive exchange, will you forgive me? I want to be a light that shines bright in this world. I want to be a difference maker. I want to be genuine, or as genuine as I can be. And I want to change the world. And I'm asking each and every one of you guys in the Distinctly Extraordinary Society to help me. Help me share these messages. Tag a friend. Share it on your timeline. Subscribe to our Distinctly Extraordinary YouTube channel. Share our messages. Because I can't do it alone. I need your help. I need you to forgive me. I need you to help me share this message. I need you to lock arms with me, because together we will accomplish more than I or you alone could ever do. I want to say thank you for being a part of the Distinctly Extraordinary Society. I want to thank you for being a part of the movement and the mission that I'm embarking on. I would like to welcome you to be a part of our program. If you don't know anything about what we do, you can go to carbidehealth.com, fill out the form, and I'll reach out to you. I want to help. Just put an upraised hand in the comment, put it in the chat in the YouTubes. I want to help. And I don't want a penny from you. I just want to help. If I have wronged you in the past, would you allow me an opportunity to reconnect with you? Would you allow me an opportunity to make it right? And even if you're not, will you forgive me? I want to be the change that this world so desperately needs. And I want to be an example. I want to be a generous giver. And will you join me in this mission? God bless you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday. This is Coach B, signing off till next time.